American Water Polo.
Hi, this is Damon Newman from American Water Polo, and we're here today to profile the club team Chicago Park District Water Polo. We're going to sit down here with Beto Garcia, see how he's doing lately. How you doing, Beto?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So tell me a little bit about Chicago Parks. Where you got, with the size of the club, where you're located, what's your mission, things like that.
As the club starts or states, Chicago Park District is the entire Chicago Park District. We try to recruit kids from every corner of the city. Um, we're all inner city athletes. Very few are from suburban areas. We try to include everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from or ability. We have three different levels. We call them the tier system. We have a tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1 system. We have five other coaches, I think, or five coaches, including myself, Louis Martinez, Brian Ruiz, Angelo Espinoza, and Nicole Lum, and then myself. And we try to attract as many athletes as we can to the sport and then elevate them through practice and through our tier system.
Excellent. So it's a large club. You guys, Chicago, basically all of Chicago, basically greater Chicago area. Is it like a age group? Do you guys have go from 10 to 18, or how does that work for you guys?
We really pride ourselves on starting our kids as young as possible and keeping them all the way through high school, and then if they return through masters. Even though there's only five of us that are technically aquatic coaches for the Chicago Park District, we have a whole Chicago Park District system, which literally is one of the best park and rec systems in any major city, where we have parks and pools that are within, I want to say, a couple miles of everyone's home. So it's not like you're driving 10 or 20 miles to get to a pool or a location. At those locations, you have monthly instructors, and hourly lifeguards that do all types of programming. They do programming for senior citizens, for learn to swim adults, and obviously all the age group programs. So for us, we have a 10 and under league, we have a 12 and under league, we have a 14 under league. The unfortunate part about that is all of that got cut short due to the circumstances that we're in because of the virus.
Right, right. Speaking of that, what are you doing these days to keep yourself busy? Take me through your day. I know we kind of talked a little bit about it earlier, but
I'll be honest with you. My day is brutal. I wish I had more engagement. I wish I had my class to go to, the kids to deal with. I wish we had practice because my typical day, had this virus not popped up, would have been wake up, head off to school, and teach. Be done with school about 2:15, and then head off to DSL practice, which is my high school practice. Every other coach in the Chicagoland area would have been in our spring session right now, so we would have been deep in our spring water polo season, and then from there we would have gone and had our CPD practice. So my typical day without this virus would have been pretty much out the door by about 6:30, 6:45, and back home about 9:30ish.
right.
With the virus, all of that has completely changed. I'm home all day, every day, and it's awful. I wish I had a better routine for all the athletes out there. I hope you guys are creating routines. But for me, it's just wake up, have a little coffee, relax. If I'm lucky, I'll go outside. I'll walk around the park. I live really close to a big park,
Yeah.
so I get my fresh air there. Check in with people, do a couple Zooms for my school
Right.
every day, and random texts for the CPD kids, and that's about it.
So you've been keeping in touch with some of your athletes. How I would assume, whether it's club or high school, how are they holding up in general?
I have been keeping in with both. Um, the the high school one is a little tough because there you're dealing with their direct season, and we had a good start to the season. We played well, um, but we have three seniors on the team, and that affects them, directly.
Right.
Just like the rest of the high school teams here in the state, like their high school season is kind of ruined and it's up in the air, and that's probably the hardest thing that kids and athletes and families and coaches have to deal with. Because I've had conversations with a ton of parents that are like, we're so sad that we wanted to cheer on our athlete, for their senior year, and now they're sitting at home. The second part to your question about the club kids, I check in with those guys every so often, texting. What's been a nice byproduct of this little time off is a lot of these athletes have been trying to check in with college recruiting and college coaches, excuse me. And it's nice to see all their letters going out to colleges and coaches from colleges responding to them, because they're doing the same thing we are, sitting at home, and it's positive. I'm glad to see that a lot of these club kids are reaching out and taking this time to be slightly advantageous to their hopefully collegiate career.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, get a little bit more time on your hands, and obviously for the college coaches as well, and the athletes is to make a connection and hopefully move forward and get recruited for the years to come.
Yeah, the hard part with that though is the kids are asking what summer programs or what summer tournaments we're going to go to, and that's a difficult answer to answer because we don't know. Everything's so up in the air.
Yeah. I've been talking to a couple college coaches on similar calls, and generally what a lot of them are saying is just tighten up your resume, tighten up your references. If you have any game films, send that in as well. So if that's something you could pass along to your athletes, that there is hope. When the opportunity does come to get back in the pool. Speaking of that, what are you looking forward to the most of getting back in with getting back on the deck, whether it's your high school kids or the club stuff this summer?
The kids, to be honest with you, there's a reason why I personally work from 7 a.m. till about 9 at night with kids.
Right.
They're the best part about it. I remember the day where they announced that there was likely going to be closures coming in, the Friday where they announced the closures, and where everybody thought the closures were going to be coming in for schools on the following Monday. I had the chance to have my 8th grade class with me at the time, and we just kind of shut down class, or our typical Spanish class, and started talking about what this virus means, what it's going to look like, and what we thought was going to happen. And one of the questions from the kids was, what are you going to do, or what are you going to miss the most? And to me, it's easy. As much as all of my athletes know me, I love to be grumpy. I love to have kids do push-ups, burpees, and all that kind of stuff. And it's impossible to be grumpy at home because it doesn't do me any good. I just
you drive your fiance up the wall if that happens.
Yeah, and I'm losing that battle. I'm not winning that one. I can't tell her to do some burpees. She's gonna look at me and I'm gonna start doing push-ups. So to answer your question directly, it's by far, it's the kids. Even on a bad day, they can cheer you up. They're the best, and social interaction is, I think everybody's feeling it, right? Everybody's
Right.
feeling the lack of social interaction, and I consider myself blessed to have that for 13 plus years of me working as a coach for the Parks and teaching, and the amount of athletes and students that I've come across and that still reach out. So that's easily by far.
That's that resonates, I'm sure, with a lot of coaches as well, and hope the time that we can come back and we can all reconnect. What final question? You got any? You have any good books that athletes can get into? Any shows that you've been really into that you could share?
Yeah, a couple. First, I got dragged into this Tiger whatever series, but I got to be honest.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, don't. It's not worth your time, man.
Okay.
I watched maybe.
First started out with all the memes. I'm like, what is? I don't get it yet.
Yeah, I watched an episode and decided that was probably the worst thing that happened to me this whole break, and I was like, I'm not watching the rest of it. However, she's watching it. She loved it. Her sister came, and they were watching it, so that's fine. One that we both enjoy though, we enjoy Ozark.
Oh yeah, I agree. I haven't started the 3rd season, but I'm waiting.
Yes, it's a good one. We made the mistake of watching like 3 or 4 episodes in one day, and then after that, I was like, you know what, we should have spaced this out. We ruined a whole week's worth of something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So, so for whatever is Netflix shows that kids are watching or whatever, space it out, man. Don't do it all in one day.
Right.
To answer your second question about the books, um, I recently enrolled in a master's course, and they've given me really good material on coaching and athletic administration. Um, I actually don't have those books in front of me. However, I do have a couple of side books that the past couple of years that have been introduced to me either by coaches or by athletes. Actually, the first one I'm going to give you was an athlete's friend or sister. She introduced it to me. Emotional intelligence. I know it looks kind of weird, and I know it sounds weird for somebody to say, "Hey, I need to become more emotionally stable and intelligent," but it's amazing. I I read the book cover to cover a couple times. I have notes in it. It's great. The second book that I got for you, I got from it was at where was it at? It was at Men's NC2As a couple years. I think in 2016.
Okay.
There was a book that was recommended, Mindset. I don't know if you can see that by Carol
Yeah.
Dweck.
Okay.
Really good book. It's all about the idea of having the proper mindset, which is super challenging in this time.
Yeah,
That
that's true too. Like you said for yourself, is that you got to get in that mindset of getting up to every day, getting in that routine.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
read
it's
the book,
difficult.
but that's something I'm assuming it's probably something similar. Whether that's water polo, whether that's every day dealing with something like the country is going through.
Yeah, and to me, it's as difficult but as easy as having the right mindset. And it's tough during these times. If you can have a positive and strong mindset during this time, man, you can do it anytime. So that personally has been my struggle. I've reread a couple of pages just because I find myself on certain days, having some issues with just being peaceful and fairly normal. So I highly recommend that book. And then another one is good old Harvard Business Review, Mental Toughness. And that one's the same thing. It's all about the mindset. It's all about learning, getting better, and having that open mindset and accepting new challenges, as this is for everyone, and rolling with the punches and trying to make the best that we can of it.
That's awesome. Excellent. You know what? Those are three really great pieces of advice, and obviously, we're all going to get through this together here. And yeah, I really want to thank you for your time, Beto, and learning more about the club program. Chicago Parks. And this is Dane Manuma from American Water Polo. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, AmericanWaterPolo.org. Remember, it's important to stay connected to what's important to you.